Mr. Yes, his name is Drew Bridges. How are you, sir? How are you doing today?
Hello, hello, hello. I'm doing terrific, and it sounds like you are too, as most of the times I've experienced you.
I am going to try my best, Drew, to do as well as I can every step of the day. I want you to do me a favor, if you don't mind. Introduce yourself. Tell us who you are. Tell us where you're from.
Yes, my name is Drew Bridges. I am a retired psychiatrist who has returned to my uh, early career of being an English major and writing books. I live in the town of Wake Forest in North Carolina, a lifelong North Carolinian. I live here with my wife, Lauren. Uh, been here more than 40 years.
Wow, 40 years. And I tell you, man, that's a blessing in itself right there. I did recognize the fact that you have informed us that you are one of those fantastic authors that we are proud to present. And why don't you tell us a little bit about the publication that you have been blessed to lately?
It is a book of fiction. It is an imagined afterlife of Ambrose Bierce, American writer and Civil War Union soldier. To understand this book, you have to know a little bit about Bierce. Uh, some say he, some say that no one before or after him has written more accurately about the experience of the everyday soldier in battle, not the generals, but the men who did the fighting and some women. Uh, that's important. It's one reason I got interested in him. I was not in the military. My father was, but the way he talked about his experience in World War II was a lot about how Bierce writes about war. And it was in that context that one night I had this dream after going to bed, having read some Bierce. I had a dream, and the plot and most of the characters in this book appeared in the dream. It was one of those dreams that stay with you all the next day. So I said, there's a seed of a story here. So I'm going to try to write this book. Here's the basic plot. Ambrose Bierce, the ghost of Ambrose Bierce, is displaced from the house he was haunting. He goes in search of a new place and employs the services of a haunting agent. In this version of the afterlife, there are people who are careful to place ghosts in appropriate residences. Not every house is appropriate for haunting. Most houses for haunting need to have some secret, some horrific secret, or some horrific murder. And he finds just such a place to live. I can go on, but do you have any questions about that so far?
Well, I'm listening, and I know that, of course, a lot of our viewers and listeners around the world are they're showing their peak and their interest in it already. Now, is this particular publication is it a follow up to a publication that you have previously written, or is this your first release?
I've written other books, but nothing like this. I've
Hmm.
written about baseball and basketball and some things like that. But this book, again, is a story that came to me in a dream. And you can read this book in several ways. When Bierce gets into this house that has this horrific secret, he finds out that the surviving wife in the house is in danger. And along with several other spirits that he meets in this afterlife, this version of the afterlife, they go on a quest to save this woman's life. So you can read this book as a straight mystery, murder mystery, adventure, um, but you can read it on other levels too, because in this afterlife, the nature of which is that it is a middle place between human life and the ultimate destination. People come into this afterlife to calm down after their life or gather themselves before they move on to wherever it is that they move on to. So in some ways, this is a book about friendship, loss, death. Um, it's about aging. Now, it's been my experience, my observation, that when a person gets to be a certain age and stops contributing in some ways to society, the person becomes a sort of invisible. People don't notice them, don't look at them. And that's kind of a metaphor for this afterlife where these ghosts are invisible to the rest of the world, can't interact with the people that they lived their life with. Um, so it's a book that can be thought about in many ways.
Wow. Well, again, I first and foremost, I am so excited that you are here today, telling us a little bit about the publication, and I'm grateful that you accepted the invitation to be a part of the GMAP Broadcast Network family, and I'm also grateful that you are allowing us to be a part of your journey. Now, for those that don't know, of course, Drew is one of our featured authors on the GMAP Broadcast Network. You can stop by at any time. Click on the tab that is simply titled Featured Authors, and you will see a copy of the publication that I am currently showing you on our television screen. Click on that cover, and it will take you to the necessary location to find out more intimate information and details about the author as well as the publication. Now, you know that a lot of people are paying attention, and we can appreciate where you've been and where you are, but what's next for you if you were to share that information with our viewers and listeners today?
Next, about my writing, or
Yeah, well, next about your writing and or you in general.
well, let me just say this one bit more about the book. I thought this book might appeal to you and your listening audience because it's also a book about faith. In the book, Ambrose Bierce, the ghost of Ambrose Bierce, experiences many spirits in this version of the afterlife who are struggling. Some worry about what's next, where they're going into the next iteration of where their soul is going. They're in a middle place. They're in a place before they cross over to the ultimate destination. And there are people that Bierce encounters that are just convinced they are eternally damned. They have lost their faith and they struggle to regain their faith. Bierce also has a friend who's a Buddhist, and they have many conversations about the future of their soul. What is next? Is reincarnation something that happens? Is there a literal version of heaven as we know it, and that most people talk about it? And ultimately, this book is about forgiveness. There are bad people who do bad things during their lives in this book, and then they encounter Bierce in the spirit world, and there is a path, a spiritual path to forgiveness for those people. So, everybody won't read this book on that level. For some, it will be a straight murder mystery adventure, but I am approaching year number 75, and people of my age, they are want to think about things such as that.
Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly. And of course, our viewers and listeners are also getting their mindset and their heart filled with this information. Now, what would be the process if those individuals that are listening today wanted to go out and show their love, care, concern, and support and download and or purchase a copy of this publication? What's the process for them to do so?
You can buy this book anywhere. It's published by BQB Publishers, BQB Publishing. This is not a self-published book. This is a, a, a full-service publisher, and you can get it. They might not stock it in Barnes and Noble, but they can order it through Barnes and Noble, or you can go online and order it from Amazon or many other places. I am also a previous owner of a bookstore here in Wake Forest, and the bookstore's name is Page 158 Books, and that's www.page158books.com. And you can order through the mail a printed, signed copy of the book. You can also get it in ebook, and the audiobook is under development. It's being prepared right now.
Oh my
Probably
goodness!
middle of February, it will be an audiobook.
And of course, we're hoping and praying that you share that information with us as well, so we can disseminate it to all of our viewers and listeners around the world for those that are interested in that version of it. Now, let's just say some of our viewers and listeners may want to reach out and connect with you on a more individual basis. Is there some contact information that you don't mind sharing with them today?
The best place to learn more about me and start a conversation, well, there are a couple of places, but one is my webpage. That's edrewbridges.com. Very simple. edrewbridges.com. I have a web page that tells a lot more about me and some of the other books I wrote. And of course, I'm on Facebook, Drew Bridges. There are several Drew Bridges on Facebook, but I'm the one with the red jacket or red sweater and longish hair. Longer hair than I have right now. I got tired of the longer hair, so
Wow. And of course, we're not going to allow them to forget about little old GMAP broadcast network down here in the lower left-hand corner of everything in small print. And, you know, most of the time, small print is the most important print on the paper. If you have any problems connecting with Drew, of course, you can let us know, and we will make sure to connect the dots. Now, we know, Drew, that you have our phone number. So we encourage you to pick that phone up and call, text, chat, tweet, whatever you do. Get in contact with us, letting us know what you're doing, when you're doing it, where you're doing it, why you're doing it, all that great stuff. And we want you to know that we will be honored to assist you in any way, shape, form, or fashion that we can. The answer will always be yes, and you will never, ever, ever have to ask us twice. We want you to know that.
And I so much hope this is not the last time you see my smiling face.
Oh my goodness! No, you know what? We're gonna continue to invite you back because we're gonna want to know more about some of the other things that you're doing and some of the other publications that you have available. So we are giving you our word that we are going to be inviting you back soon and very soon to talk more about some of the other things that you're doing, what's yet to come, and so on. So don't you hesitate and don't you doubt for 1 second whether or not you're going to be on our platform sharing this information and allowing us to see your smiling face. We love that fact. And before I let you go, Drew, I want to move over for a quick second and just give you an opportunity to share what's on your heart and mind today. So I'm going to move over and allow you to do so. Drew, the floor is yours.
Well, open-ended questions are the toughest ones, but I'll accept the challenge and just say I wish the world was filled with more people like you. We have a world that's in turmoil now, in conflict now, and I hope we'll get by it. I think we'll get by it. But as long as there are good people like you in the world, I have faith.
Wow. You know, I'm going to rewind that and play it over and over and over again. I appreciate those kind words, and I appreciate you sharing that with me as well as people around the world. I thank you for that. And of course, my focus and the way I look at it is people need to just share what's on their heart and mind, but they need to also remain happy inside. I don't look at things in a negative way. I always try my very best to look at the positive out of anything. And one way to do so is to be able to assist people like yourself at just spreading who you are and what you're doing and how they can be supportive of it. Again, I can't thank you enough for being here with us today. I can't thank you enough for accepting the invitation to be a part of our broadcast network family. I know how tough that could be with so many things, as you said, are going on. You didn't know me from night and day, but you accepted the challenge by faith. You accepted the invitation, and I thank you. And of course, I thank you for allowing us to be a part of your journey. We are going to be inviting you back. We want you to continue to put this information out and publish the books that's in your heart and mind and allow the people to be blessed with what it is that you disseminate. In the meantime, we want you to have a fantabulous rest of your day. I'll be reaching out to you, getting in contact with you, letting you know where we go from here. For those that may have missed any portion of this conversation, it will be placed on our YouTube channel, on Facebook. It's going to be aired on our weekly cable program, and anything else we can do to assist Drew, we're going to do so. So, Drew, we thank you so much for being here, and we hope and pray that you have an outstanding rest of your day, okay?
Thank you.
A New Haunt from Mr. Beers by Drew Bridges. The ghost of Ambrose Bierce, Civil War Union soldier and American writer, is displaced from the house he is haunting. He employs the services of a haunting agent to find an appropriate new haunt. In this house, Bierce plans to continue his century of living in this afterlife, a place of peace and disinterest in the affairs of the living, a midpoint between human life and the ultimate destination of what lies beyond. Bierce keeps company there with a Buddhist priest who has found serenity in this afterlife, having lived there for 25 centuries. Bierce finds no peace here. The house was the site of a horrific murder and contains an enduring secret that poses a threat to the murdered man's wife, the surviving owner of the house. Bierce, the haunting agent, and his Buddhist friend are, against their will, pulled into a quest to save the woman's life. Bierce and the Buddhist find their understanding of and comfort within this afterlife challenged. Serenity is no longer attainable. They seek a new spiritual path. A New Haunt from Mr. Bierce by Drew Bridges. Order your copy now.